Quran is the Quran. So these numberings, they varied according to recitations, where the reciter paused. So they put the verse there, the classic reciters. Okay, so be clear on that. Numbering of verses, titles of chapters, this was added later. It's not actually a part of the Quran itself. So, back to Surah Al-Ikhlas. Allah says there, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Say, Allah is uniquely one. Ahad is different from Wahid. Wahid is one. Ahad is uniquely one. So this is the essence of the message of Tawheed, is talking about the uniqueness of Allah's oneness. That He is one like which there is no other. Because when you read that surah, all of the other verses are explaining aspects of His uniqueness. Allahu Samad, one on whom everything else is dependent, is independent of everything. Lam yalid, He didn't give birth. Walam yulad, nor was He born. Walam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad, and there is nothing similar to Him. So it's talking about the unique oneness of Allah. So this is the essential message that we need to convey to people. Allah's unique oneness. And this is the problem of Christianity, isn't it? They say God is one, but He's three in one. And then they try to explain to you, how is He three in one? They say, well, you know the egg? The egg has a shell. It has the white, and it has the yellow, the yolk. But it's one egg. So we say, no. Your God is an egg God. Our God is a God like which there is no other. Some say, well, no, He's like water. Water can be a liquid. It can be solid, ice. Or it can be a gas, steam. We say, your God is a water God. Our God is one like who there is no other. So all of their descriptions to explain how God is, really is making God like His creation. That is their problem. Some people might ask, well, what about the Jews? Because they don't say these things. They don't talk about Trinity and this. They only talk about one God. Hear, O Israel, first commandment of Moses, which Jesus also said. Hear, O Israel, the Lord your God is one God. So, we're on the same page. But are we? When you go and you read in the Torah, it states there that God regretted what He did to the people of Israel. Regretted. He repented. And a variety of other attributes which makes Him like His creatures. This is where they fell down. When God created Adam in the Genesis, and Adam and Eve eat from the tree, and they hide behind the tree, it says there that they could hear God's footsteps in the garden. And then God said, Adam, where are you?
Help.
This is a man. This is not God. Okay? So these kinds of descriptions is where they have fell. Because they have made God like His creatures. So this is our essential message. The unique oneness of God. Now, on the other hand, what about the atheists? Those who say there is no God. The unique oneness is also relevant to them too. Because this is the same area where they have fallen. How? How have atheists gone astray with regards to the unique oneness of Allah? Tell me. Nobody knew any atheists? Huh? Okay, they see the terror or harm or crime, tragedies in the world. They say they couldn't possibly be a God. Okay, that's their argument. But, huh? No such thing as an absolute creation. Well, let's go to origins. Where do they say all of this came from? Big Bang is along, but the Big Bang started off with matter. Still, how do they explain the origin of matter? Evolution comes later on. No, basic, accident. Well, okay, that's how things happen. But no, what they say, if you listen to them, what they say is that matter is eternal. Matter has no origin. It is eternal. It was always there. It will always be there. It is without beginning. Our whole argument is what? There had to be a beginning. And that beginning is with God starting the whole thing rolling. Right? That's our belief. They say, no, there's no beginning. Matter was always there. So what have they done? They have taken God's unique attribute of being eternal, having no beginning, and put it on matter. That's what they've done. So for them, of course, when you make matter eternal, you don't owe anything to matter. You don't have to be grateful to matter. So it's okay. They have their God. Their God is matter. They've given God's attributes to matter. So they have a belief. Even though they say, no, we don't have any belief. No, that's a belief. Because can you prove that matter is eternal? You can't prove it. You either believe it or you don't believe it. Isn't it? They like to accuse us of that, isn't it? You know, you can't prove there is a God. It's either you believe or you don't believe. You have blind faith, you believe. So that's what we say. Same thing with you. You have blind faith and you believe. But the difference is, our belief makes sense and yours doesn't. That's the difference. Our belief that there is a God makes more sense than your belief that there isn't a God. Why? We say, no. All the harm, evil in the world, this is proof for us. We say, if your belief that there isn't a God was the more logical and reasonable belief, then why is it that the founders of logic, who are they? The people who first wrote down the rules for logic.
The Greeks.
Who did that in history? The Greeks. If A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. That's Greek logic. They put out formulas to explain logical arguments. They're the ones who laid the laws of logic. So, if the founders of logic, Plato and Aristotle, believed that there must be a God logically, then hey, it obviously is more logical than what you're arguing. And that's the fact. Plato and Aristotle both argued that there must be a God. All logic and sense proves that there must be a God. So, dealing with the atheist, as I said, your issue still has to do with Tawheed, unique oneness of God, even in the case of the atheist. Now, in discussing with people, of course, they may not, or usually they don't, come to you and say, what is your belief in God? No, they come to you and say, why are you blowing yourselves up? Why are you covering your women? Why do you have polygamy? Why do you this? Why do you this? They're coming, these are the questions. Right? So what do? You can't say, forget those questions, believe in one God. No. They want their questions answered. So it means that you will have to address what they bring up. But what you do is you keep in the back of your mind that you need to carry them to that same point of Tawheed.